We are back here at the Maestro Resort and Casino. This is Kane Callis alongside Randy Liu, and you just saw all the cool things you could do here at the Maestro. There's a great spa, great pool right by the beach, but right now we're bringing you high-stakes poker action. This is the main event. It's a 1 million Hong Kong dollar buy-in main event, and here, the feature table, we're now down to 16 players, so we got 8 players at this table.
Table chip leader is Steve O'Dwyer, most likely the chip leader in the tournament. Over 2 million chips. Probably the only person with more than that. Badziakowski, he's got a ton of chips too. He's currently in second place.
Badziakowski, the guy I picked to win this tournament early on, is doing very well. Here's another player who's doing great. Marius Tobertson. Not dressed as well as he was yesterday, though. I'm a little disappointed.
Okay, this is definitely a fresh deck.
Finally
Finally a deck that's definitely brand new.
Deck is fine.
This is definitely a new deck.
Badziakowski has almost 2 million chips.
Just about 100 big blinds, which is where Badziakowski is most comfortable.
So he makes it 60,000, 3x.
Do you think part of the reason he made it big is because Roble is short in the big blind?
I would think that you would make it a little bit. You don't need to make it that big. It's interesting. But you know, like, I guess if Roble has 2 overs, you want him to fold. So you kind of deny him from
So you
calling.
think it could just be hand specific?
I think Roble still makes the call, even though it's 3x with 10-8 offsuit.
Now, Roble does make the call. That's a pretty close spot, but he chooses to defend.
Doesn't flop anything. Actually, kind of a bad flop for Badziakowski. I feel like he has to bet something.
I think we're going to see him check here.
I kind of lean. I think he's going to bet, actually. It's my read on Badziakowski.
It's about a 1-to-1 pot to stack ratio right now.
I think he's going to bet like 25K. that's my, maybe 30K. We'll see. He's trying to think what his opponent have. No, he does just
He does
shove.
go all in.
All out.
All out.
Take your AC aggressively.
I have no cell phone, sorry.
Sorry? Oh, cell phone. Got it.
Your second one as well.
Coming and collecting cell phones from everybody. Cell phones not allowed at the feature table. That includes you, Chan.
Mine is over there. Take it or leave it there.
Oh, more chips coming.
Chan under the gun with ace-queen here. He's going to certainly raise up this pot.
45 days.
It's also possible, Randy, that Badziakowski made it a little larger last hand. Since we are 8-handed here, the big blind's getting a little bit of a better price to defend with 8 players anteing rather than 6, for example.
Yep, that is true.
That's something that'll be a little bit different in the World Series events where they do a big blind ante. The ante won't change as the number of players at the table change, and I've seen some people calling on Twitter for them to make an exception to that when, say it's at the final table and you get down to 4 fewer players. Baziakowski staying aggressive here with King Jack.
Robo King Jack offsuit. It's only got 6 big blinds.
Yeah, this is a fold, Andrew.
What he's thinking about is if Baziakowski is 3-betting light, then he can get the overlay from Chan. I mean, it's kind of like a super optimistic way of thinking. But, you know, if Baziakowski 3-bets like Jack-10 offsuit and stuff, then this would be a great shove. But I think he's going to let it go because he's just a bit too optimistic. I would like to see Chan not fold ace-queen here. He's up against an aggressive player with a big stack.
Well, the question is, if you're Chan, 30 big blinds effective, what do you do here?
I'm shoving.
You're shoving. I think I would be calling here.
He's shoving too.
He does shove. And he takes it down. So why? It worked out for Chan. You would have shoved as well. It would have worked out for you. See, when I shove there, I'm thinking I only get called by better. It's unlikely my opponent plays ace-queen that way. He'd probably flat pre-flop with ace-queen, so I don't even really expect him to show up with the same hand that often.
I mean, no, I think he can have ace-queen. Yes, sure. But, you're just going to take it down too much. Because say you call out of position. It's 7 big blinds out of your 30. Well, here's an all-in play here. Manig Loser all in with pocket jacks. It looks like he beat pocket 8s. Is that a... No, he didn't beat pocket 8s. There's 8 on the board. Pocket 9s maybe it was? Not too sure what happened here, but maybe Manig lost his chips? No, he definitely doubled up. I'll try and get that information for you guys.
Seen you bubble a lot recently.
Okay, so we have 30 big blinds, and you just think there's enough in the pot to warrant a shove there. How deep do we need to be before you start flatting? 35 big blinds, 38 big blinds?
Well, against some people, I still might shove ace-queen for 35
Even when
or
you
38, or
open
even
under
40.
the gun and he 3-bet under the gun plus
It's just,
2.
it depends on who I'm playing against. Some people I call, some people I fold. But that sizing was actually a little bit larger too, to 135, I think. So, you know, you really don't want to, if you call, I don't think there's anything wrong with calling, but I think they're both winning plays. You call, comes 9-8-7, you check fold to a bluff. Like, there's lots of different things that can happen. You don't get blown off your equity.
Well, it's really interesting because earlier we saw Chidwick call on a 21 big blind stack or 22 big blind stacks with ace-queen suited. And that one didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And now, because he was in later position, it seemed like a clear value shove, and he almost chose to instead trap with his hand. But now we see it's a much different situation here, not only because stacks are about 50% deeper, but also because Chan was under the gun and Baziakowski was under the gun plus 2.
Yeah. Something I want to also point out is that ace-queen suited would play better as a call in theory because it has more playability. You can flop some flush draws and things like that. And the other thing is being out of position, you're going to lose the pot a bit more. So shoving has more value that, you know, you get to see all your equity. So these are just very small little things that would push it one way or the other. Like I said, I don't mind calling. But in this situation specifically, I think Baziakowski is 3-bet bluffing a bit more because he's got like 2 million chips. And I think I'm just going to win the pot a ton.
Makes a lot of sense. Over to Chan in the small blind.
Nope, I don't.
He just calls with ace-7. I like this call here.
Because of the final?
No, family is living in Japan, and that's
O'Dwyer attacking with queen 4 off.
5? Right?
8 or 9 hours, depending on the... I think it was 8 when I was there.
If your friends prefer watching the final now.
Final, yeah, probably. And I won't tell them when I'm... way too many friends. So sick.
Back to Chan, who calls. He's almost a 2-to-1 equity favorite against O'Dwyer's hand. Both players flop a pair.
Really?
Not a single one.
You probably don't know them because they have some weird nicknames.
Just go check or bet on the flop.
It went check on the flop.
So Chan now checks again. He's laying a trap for O'Dwyer. I think he's playing his image pretty well. Just trying to induce bets from, you know, a perceived weak image on his flop. So now he's got a bet. When you see check on the turn, just fire something. Try to get a queen to call. Try to get a jack to call. Don't need to bet too much. I like 60K. He's gonna go actually 100K.
Wanted to play, and I told him
Seems slightly greedy.
I think no. I told him.
I wonder if O'Dwyer will pay off here.
Like it was almost full, so I told him I'd play if they needed me to.
100K. O'Dwyer.
Back there's a little bit softer for me.
Yeah.
Then
I mean, he's a little bit confused on why Chan's opting for a larger size too. He doesn't think Chan is betting a jack or a queen this way. He's going to make the call and he's going to see the bad news. Nice play by Chan. Almost up to 1 million chips. I feel like Chan hasn't done anything too crazy and is able to chip up slowly. I really like his solid play. Can easily get him far in this tournament.
Mine is the better one for that. Thing. Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Everyone has his favorite game.
I like Uno a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's actually, we played for not that much money with friends.
But there's too much collusion going on. Like you have to be friendly to not get all the 4+. You know, I guess you would do so badly in Uno.
I was always losing.
Yeah, makes sense.
But my girlfriend.
This is what I was looking for. I got it.
But I took the action of my girlfriend and she was always winning, so.
That's smart.
So Dietrich fast opening up ace-8 of diamonds. Now Orpin, pocket tens, contemplating if he wants to 3-bet or just flat here. He does 3-bet to 140,000. That's 3.5 times the size of Fast's raise.
Sorry.
So Orpin with pocket tens. You're fast here. A tough spot. Ace-8 of diamonds. I've seen fast call 3-bets a bit wider than a lot of the players.
I don't think he's calling this one for 100K more here.
But he does let it go. Out of position. Yeah, it's tough.
Clearly he's not happy about it. Orpin now over 1 million chips.
Every time I play her heads up, I always won. So.
Heads up is a different game.
Yeah.
The sample is 2 out of 2.
No, it's like infinite. I like
You're playing a lot.
Yeah, we played a lot. So I think just because we have way more sampling heads up, and I think there's less variance than multi-way.
What game is this?
Uno?
Uno.
Uno?
Yeah, I played it as a kid. Yeah.
You're still a kid, bro.
Truth, I played it as a kid. Thought it was fun.
Can you gamble on it?
You can gamble on everything, right?
This is true.
But I told him it's a game of collusion, so you have to be friendly with everyone to not get the 4+, 2+, etc.
Right. I can't even remember the rules. Been a while. I remember the cards. The cards have like weird colors on them, or like the four colors.
Plus
and
black,
then this,
plus
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of. Actually, there's a lot of strategy too.
So
I bet.
Badziakowski in the small one, King 8 suited. Orpin's raising from a pretty early position.
5, 7.
Then you can do like this.
King 8 suited's kind of a, and King 9 suited are the type of hands like people like to re-raise.
Yeah, I specifically like King 9 suited because you can make it straight.
King 9 suited's a little bit better. So I think like Badziakowski sees King 8 suits like, looks pretty good. He's gonna actually make a call.
That's a very loose call.
Against undergun +1.
I'm surprised to see Badziakowski make that call. He tends to play a little bit more of a theory-oriented game.
Well, Badziakowski actually, from my experience from watching his tournament game, he likes to see more flops. And I do think he's an excellent post-flop player. So he flops mid-pair of 8s. Against pocket aces right now. Likely going to check, call with a flop.
Heads up for rolls?
Heads up for rolls, yeah, sure.
Is players talking about high-stakes Uno action. I've played a lot of different games for money, but Uno's not one of them. I wouldn't be opposed to it, though.
Orpin makes it 55,000 with pocket aces. Badziakowski. King 8 just gonna check call. I'd be very surprised if he did anything but check call.
Can Uno be played heads up? Can Uno be played heads up?
You're worried about the Uno game. I don't know.
They got me excited about it.
I don't know how to play Uno.
You've never played Uno?
I've played Uno, but I forgot the rules with the switchy card thingy. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's like.
It's a complicated game.
Yeah.
Normally, you learn how to play when you're 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah. I don't. No comment.
Well, after the long broadcast, we can go to Uno Pizzeria, bring a deck of Uno cards, put up Uno million Hong Kong dollars.
Why do I feel like I'm getting scammed into a bad situation? I think I'm gonna try to play the play money version. So Orpin's gonna go ahead and fire again 125,000, about half of the pot. And Badziakowski actually in a very tough spot. And he called from the small blind. He's gonna call again. It's a tough spot. His opponent can actually two-barrel a reasonable amount because he does have like pocket 7s and pocket 9s a lot. River's a 5, so he's got a boat with an 8. However, he doesn't beat a lot of hands. I don't think most players would actually three-barrel bluff this board texture too much because they're going to put their opponent on like Jack 10 a lot. They usually wouldn't fold. Orpin, I think, actually is going to size up pretty large. You know, he's not really targeting hands like, he probably doesn't expect Badziakowski to have an 8 too much, besides like 8-9 suited occasionally, that flatted the small blind. Probably doesn't think he can get called by pocket 7s or pocket 6s. He's trying to decide, can he just bet like 500k pot? So he actually is going to use a time bank on his hand. So he's got 1 more minute before he has to throw in another one. Just trying to find the perfect sizing. Does he want to go like 300-400k and try to make a 10 more guarantee of a call? Or does he want to go like maximum value and just overbet shove here? That would make it look like a bluff a bit more. It's a tricky spot. Bad news for him is that Badziakowski actually only has an 8, not a 10. So, hope he doesn't use another time bank chip on his spot. I feel like there's better spots than this. Maybe he is. Nope. Alright, better bet soon before the time bank comes. A very small bet, only 150K.
I don't see time bank.
It's 150K is pretty good against the hand Badziakowski actually has. But I would have liked to see him make it a bit bigger. I just feel like a 10 wouldn't even fold to like 250K at least. Seems like a slight misstep on sizing, but maybe he just has a good read that Badziakowski has like pocket 9s or 8-9 or pocket 7s.
5, 4, 4.
That's a time bank chip. That's not a call. Do not make the same mistake that Bryn Kenny made. So, Badziakowski here. It's getting great odds, but this really doesn't look like a bluff to me. I mean, the problem is when you think too much, sometimes you get very creative and you're like, man, maybe he's trying to move me off of a flush. Which would make sense in theory, but that's pretty crafty thinking. I mean, I can imagine Badziakowski could have a flush like ace jack of diamonds, but like, it's a very interesting bet size. Badziakowski really taking his time here. At the final table to get 3 more time bank chips, so actually is quite a good time to use time bank chips. He passes. Great fold by Badziakowski. I like it.
Nikita, when you use this, don't use it like you're calling.
Yeah, she thought you called. She always call.
So because these time bank chips look very similar to the 1Ks.
Just let the time run out or do this.
You don't need to throw it.
I don't-
It doesn't mean it, but
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know, it's weird though, because normally in the tournaments, the time things like don't look like chips, you know?
Yeah. It is
So-
weird, but we shouldn't.
Yeah,
They said they're going to try to change it for tomorrow.
yeah.
The Aria part is again best.
Alright, so let's take a look at our table chip count. Steve O'Dwyer is the table chip leader. Probably the chip leader of the tournament, 2.1 million. Mikita Badziakowski at 1.5 million. Andrew Robo, he's only got 6 big blinds right now. He's a short stack, needs a double soon. So they were discussing about the time bank chip. It seems like they're going to try and swap them out for new ones tomorrow. They look very similar to the 1K chips. And I understand the concern because earlier a player, Andrew Robo, threw in a time bank chip. Bryn Kenny thought he called and said ace. Then Robo shoved with the nuts, and Bryn Kenny called, even though he told his opponent what he had, which is 1 pair. So the time for the cash game is expected to be 1:15 a.m. local CET. It could change slightly, so I recommend you follow the Twitter account Triton Poker to get the more exact details.
You put it?
Raise 45,000.
So Chan raises ace-6 offsuit. Badziakowski with pocket fours makes the call on the button. Finish your hand, you're on. Blinds are up, 12,000, 24,000. Flop is queen 5-3 flush draw. Chan. It's a very dry board, so he's going to take a stab at it. Trying to fold out hands like ace 8, ace 9, king jack. I doubt Badzikowski will fold though in these two positions. He's got the dealer button. He's got some little backdoor draws, but the pair of fours usually is just best. In this spot, 79% favorite. So he does make the call. Turn is a jack. Not a good card for both players. Chan doesn't really have any extra equity. Badzikowski occasionally feels like he's been outdrawn by the jack. I think it would be uncharacteristic if Chan bets again, given the way he's been playing, but I think he's changing it up. Really just puts his opponent on a weak hand like pocket 7s, 8s, 9s, 4s, ace 5, something that just can't handle two barrels. The jack is very scary for those cards, for those hands.
Look at this. Chan has some moves.
So Chan is, just plays his image well. Like when you have a tighter image, I always say you can get away with a bluff here and there, and that's what Chan has done. No stranger to big stakes games.
Well, Randy, I'm going to step away, let you take over here. I got €1 million buy-in cash game to go rest up for in a couple hours.
Sure, sounds good. Thanks for having us, Kane, and guess we'll have you back tomorrow. So your guys are just stuck with me. Take care, man. You guys are stuck with me, unfortunately. Just my commentary. Kane is on the wait list for that $1 million buy-in game. Would love to see him get on so we can root for him. I'm going to be unbiased, but I know you guys won't be. So Andrew Roble now under the gun with 105,000 in chips with one time bank chip. Queen 9 offsuit. It's a close spot actually. I think I like shoving, and he does make the shove. Ace 9 for Chan. I think he needs to make a call or isolation here. It's too likely he beats ace queen 9, but he folds. I guess he's in a little bit too early of a position. I still think I would have considered isolating 5 BBs. It's going to fold over to Dietrich Fast. He might actually make a play here, thinking that under the gun is so weak. So Dietrich Fast is going to make the call. I like this play. Because Orpin's actually not going to call too wide here. Folds king 8. So Orpin kind of wished he called after seeing these hands. So Andrew Roble is all in with queen 9 offsuit. Needs to hit a queen or a 9 to stay in this tournament. And that is 2 pair for Dietrich Fast. Andrew Roble needs running cards. A 6 is not going to do it. Good game. Roble is out in, I think, 15th place. High stakes cash game player. No more.
Yeah.
Andrew Roble eliminated. So if you would like to know the action of the outer table, you can always follow Poker News. I think they got the action there. It's going to be synced up with our stream, so no spoilers will ever happen.
Ace 55.
So there was a hand where Montenegro actually doubled up with pocket jacks against Isaac Haxton's 10-8 on 10-8-3. Came out deuce-deuce to counterfeit Isaac Haxton. Wow, what a cooler here. Chan's got pocket queens from under the gun, and Torbergson in the big blinds woken up with pocket kings. He's going to re-raise to 200,000. No, it's not 100, it's 200,000.
That's so sick, no? Also short ist einer der besten wahrscheinlich.
Chan here, pocket queens from early position. I don't know how he can get away from this. There's a chance he just calls, but he likely has the best hand here in this spot. They are quite deep, about 50 big blinds, so it wouldn't be unreasonable for him just to call, but I don't think he can. I don't think he can ever fold. He is just gonna call. He's a little bit suspicious. He feels like he can just make better decisions post flop, but they're gonna get 200K in each right now. The flop is Jack, Queen, Deuce, and Chan hits top set. Torbergson, he cannot see this one coming. Now, to be fair, Chan can easily have pocket jacks or queens, but he's definitely not going to be folding to a flop or turn bet. If I'm Chan here, I got to put my opponent on some hands. I think aces and kings is reasonable, but also ace-king is a reasonable hand for him to actually check or bet. So I think I would fire something smaller so that ace-king wouldn't check, but he does check behind. Can't blame him. He's got a boat now. Torbergson's going to think he's got the best hand. He's going to start betting now. Most players will actually consider betting pocket jacks on the flop or queens, although some will also check back this flop. I can't imagine he checks again with kings. It just seems so passive.
That was different.
So Torbergson is going to bet 180,000. Almost a pot-sized bet. If you're Chan here, the best way to play this hand is just to call. Because occasionally your opponent has like ace-king or just like ace-10 of spades. You don't want him to fold. If you knew your opponent had pocket kings, yes, you would raise right now, but you don't. So let's play the range.
7 times. Re-entered 6 times.
So should see Chan call here. Top boat.
He's not like reaping.
Who?
Sean?
I think it was just 4, and the last 3 was like very, very late, where he's not really losing.
Yeah.
So, like that's
He's playing decent, so.
Chan's gonna make the call.
He had huge scores in scoop. Did you see that?
Yeah. Russian.
River is an ace. Oh, that's a terrible card for Chan because Torbergson's
Dom is like
kings.
Crossbow.
It's not going to feel too great on this card for multiple reasons, because it's hard for him to get value from worse, and well, Chan can easily have a hand like ace, queen, ace, jack.
I'm sure Didi would be interested in doing that with me.
Now he wishes he bet the
Leave
flop.
Shan prospect?
Which guy?
Shan.
Who said?
So it's like the one card that really just saves
Yeah, and you
Torbergson from
said
losing
I
more
was the worst
chips.
player at that final table.
Which the Macau?
So I think
No, I
Torbergson
never said
checks.
that. I said,
You did.
No, I said
Chan
you're the
here.
worst professional. Is Sean a professional?
Yeah, sure.
Very large full house pocket queens. How much to bet?
The worst professional.
I think he's going to go like
So,
My German isn't great.
350K to
yeah, I know
400.
what I said.
It seems like
I mean, Chan needs to just decide, what does Torbergson have here,
Professional player who's playing
and what do I bet against it? He's looking for 375.
regular.
A little bit more.
harsh criticism.
So Chan is betting I think 475,000, 445,000. 445,000, and the way Torbergson played this hand is very funny. Chan, for bluffs, is trying to represent like 10-9 suited. If he calls his 3-bet hands. Nice laydown by Torbergson. Didn't even think about it. Just think he's up against a big hand too often.
How much did you cash this year?
That could have been a huge pot.
I'm not sure if I dusted.
Not too many bluffs there.
Probably not.
Nice fold, because I do think that Chan would fold hands like 10-9 suited a decent amount pre-flop, given how big the
Couple small ones, like
the pre-flop raise was.
Bahamas and then like
The 100K.
So some of the bluffs you might think your opponent has might not actually be there,
so basically I could like
based on positions and sizing.
and put in binds like
Oh, you had the,
I don't even want to mention the number.
I'm at like 1.8, and I was not grinding at all, and I've had one bullet in the Super Idol in China. So
1.8 million catches.
no, binds, I guess something like that. I have the numbers.
So that is Stefan Sontheimer. Very good professional player. Primarily a cash game player, but has transitioned into tournaments as well.
But okay, I'll catch up in buy-ins during WSOP.
In the middle. Is it a re-entry? Must be 40.
I don't think so. No, what could you stupid? I think it's free.
Dietrich fast with King-9 of spades going to raise in. You know, Chan's been grinding to short stack the majority of the tournament. All of a sudden, it's a big stack. He's been playing really solid poker.
Yeah, or other tournament, the party ones. Did you play the party ones in Roosevelt, where it was total 7% rake, and now the million one is like 8%?
Which one was like 111?
No, just right now in February.
No, I didn't play in February.
It was like 5, no, 2% plus 5% hidden fee, something crazy.
In the 50 day? Or it was 100 cash flow?
50.
And it was October, right? Like 2 days away?
Yeah. Super sick. So everyone was complaining in the first place about they decreased it now from 11 to 8.
So
I think if the
we are
field
going to
is as
play
good as before, it's like totally,
another level or
totally
two,
reasonable
roughly.
tournament.
We'll see.
We'll see. Will be a tough one though. It's Vegas time, 7 a.m. is the World Cup final.
So we will have the
12
cash
or
game
11
stream
is the start of the
a
tournament.
bit sooner, I've been told. 12:30 local, which is in about 2.5 hours.
Event, fuck the World Cup. Unless there is a German event.
That's it, right? So I have to slightly root against that. But I think we are shit.
Check.
Final
Don't
zone.
forget the clock.
I mean, maybe you could just like
Don't forget the
prepare
clock,
your
you just
schedule.
forgot the
If
clock.
you going to bed 11 p.m. and waking up.
I checked, but just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it
So
won't,
looks like
I think the million won't
Fast
be
has
grind.
rivered
It's
a
like
pair
nice
of
dinner
nines
and
against
probably
Chan's
stuff like
ace
that,
deuce
so.
suited. Trying to give you guys the most accurate information on this cash game. I don't want to miss it. So 88,000 from Chan. Sizing his bets really well. He knows his opponents don't have an ace, so he's going for the smaller bet sizing, but Dietrich Fast able to read into that and fold his middle pair.
bubble time.
Alright, so Dietrich Fast of Ace Queen offsuit. Gonna open this pot. I feel a little lonely now that Kane is gone. Anyone else miss him too? Just talking to myself now. Still try and give you the best insight I can. Orpin with Ace-10 offsuit. Interesting spot. I actually think he's going to re-raise here, given the way he's been playing. I wouldn't fault him for calling as well. I doubt he's going to fold. So he's going to re-raise, as I predicted. 160,000. He's got like a good semi-bluff type hand. King-Queen suited snap folds. Well, Dwyer in the big blind Jack-9 suited is probably going to fold as well. Dietrich Fast of Ace Queen offsuit. He's playing about 30 big blinds effective. I think re-raise all in is a decent option. I think calling is good as well. I seriously doubt Dietrich ever folds this hand against Orpin. So he shoves all in. I like this play. He's out of position. He gets to realize all of his equity. And, you know, he doesn't get blown off his hand when it comes like low number cards like 6, 7, 8. Very well played. So Dominic Nietzsche walking away from the table. Looks like he busted with Ace-5 of clubs against Ivan's Queen-10. The board ran out 7, Jack, Ace, Queen-10. Wow, sick run out. There were 2 clubs on the flop. Good game to Dom. He's out in 14th place. So Dietrich Fast of Ace-4 of hearts going to raise, and Badzikowski of King-3 offsuit. Some players have been folding this hand, but Badzikowski, very confident post-flop player. I think cash game players tend to defend this a bit more than tournament players. So he's going to make the call. And it's been out-flopped. Well, I guess he was already behind. He's got the nut flush draw back door, if that means too much. But he's got a pair of 3s, so I doubt he's going to fold to it, flop c-bet. Dietrich Fast might bet the flop, might check. He's going to opt to bet this time. I like a small bet of 60K, personally. 35,000, even smaller. So Badzikowski with King-3 makes the call. Turn is a deuce. Gonna go check. I think Fast will check here a reasonable amount because his kicker isn't that great. Wonder who left their cell phone sounds on at the table. But Dietrich Fast really loves to stare down his opponents. I don't know if he gets any information from these quality players. So let's check. River is a jack. Bodziakowski likely to check again. Does beat a reasonable amount of hands, like Queen 10, King Queen. These are type of hands that usually don't two-barrel unless they have a flush draw. Beats like 10-9. There's a lot of hands he beats. I think the safe play is to just check. So he is going to check, and Dietrich Fast needs to decide, does he want to try and get value out of, say, like a Jack 10 of diamonds type hand, that river to pair. There's definitely no weaker aces. The kicker will play usually, so he needs to worry about that. He might consider a safe check on the river. It's hard to say. Does he think a 7 would call him on the river? So he just takes a safe check, and Dietrich Fast is going to win with ace-4. So Bodziakowski on the downswing started this table of 1.9 million chips. He's got 1.3 now. Outer table action. Looks like Steven Chidwick is involved. He's got King Queen against Ivan. Is that Ivan? No, it's against Rui Cao. King Jack of diamonds. So he needs to dodge a jack. Looks safe for Rui Cao. I mean, safe for Chidwick. He actually turns. He has a club in his hand. Turns to jack, so he's got a flush. Hands over. It's not Leo. It's actually Rui Cao. Just to let you guys know. Graphics are a little bit messed up. Good thing I recognize the players. So Chidwick's going to double up for about, I want to say 400.
I made one in the World Series main event.
I think they said 479 roughly.
Exactly. On like day one for a dumb small pot. I did like get called on the river and get like a royal flush and the full double. Considerably more than
Chidwick. 9 players will make the money out of these final 14. While Sontheimer's all in with pocket queens. 504,000. Torbergson with 8s in the tough spot. In the hijack versus the big blind. I think this can be either a call or a fold. Just really depends. Sontheimer is probably shoving a bit wider than most people. So 8s makes it a little bit more of a call. So he's going to make the call. So Sontheimer shows him pocket queens. Torbergson needs to hit an 8 to eliminate Sontheimer. Otherwise, he's going to lose 500,000 chips here. Ace Jack 3 safe for Sontheimer. Turns a 5. The river is a king, so Sontheimer is going to double up to about 1 million chips. Torbergson down to 692,000. So it's like all in action. 2 tables. So in case you didn't see, Isaac Haxton's on the other table, Stephen Chidwick, Rui Cal, Ivan Leo, Peter Jetton. Those are some of the players on the other table. I think Manig Lozer's over there too. Manig Lozer is a previous Triton Series champion. Oh my god. I didn't even realize in that hand where Chidwick doubled off King Queen against Rui Cal, King Jack, Stephen Chidwick had King Queen of clubs on Ace 10 7 Jack clubs. That's a royal flush. I didn't even see a royal flush. Maybe one of you guys spotted it. There's the table chip count. Steve O'Dwyer's a tournament chip leader right now. So the cash game is scheduled right now for 2 hours and 30 minutes from now. 12:30 local.
It's huge, right?
I wonder if did anyone see the wild flash? Oh, it's hard to see.
Try to stay above the 100 bigs.
Millions don't really feel big like when you had just 2 million half an hour ago.
Oh, you want me to feel sorry with you right now? I think you do all right. How much you get, by the way?
1.1.
Sure, yeah.
What?
And you have more.
More than you?
Me.
You have almost 1.1.
Badzio Kalski of 8-4 spades now.
You didn't touch that. Great.
So Badzio Kalski raising, and Dietrich Fast is going to call Queen 9 offsuit. These two are going to battle again. In the cash game, we're going to have Phil Ivey, Tom Dwan, Patrick Antonius, Jungle Man, and other big name players. €1 million buy-in. It's going to be 1,000, 2,000 euro with a 2,000 euro ante. So it goes check, check on the flop. Badziakowski with bottom pair and inside straight draw now. I think Dietrich Fast can feel pretty confident in betting this turn. A lot of players will bet a 10 on the flop usually, but he's going to check. Being a little bit cautious. So the river is a 3. Tough spot. Badziakowski with bottom pair. Might feel obligated to pay off, and he does make the call. And going to get shown the bad news again. All right, so Torbergson's going to open Jack 10 of diamonds under the gun. Sontheimer, pocket jacks. It's going to re-raise. Probably make it around 150,000. So it makes it 135,000? 155,000. Torbergson out of position of Jack 10 of diamonds. The problem of having short stack is it's hard to call 3-bets. And he's gonna let it go. Wojciechowski of King 10 offsuit gonna probably make a raise, I imagine. So Dietrich pass with Queen 5 offsuit. I'm not sure why he's taking so long. Just really wants to win pots off of Wojciechowski. And Torbergson in the big blind with Ace 5 is going to try and see a flop. Now, something exciting happening at the tables. A lot of laughing. So we're going to take a flop here. Wojciechowski flops a king. So goes check. So a small bet from Wojciechowski, and Torbergson folds. On to the next one.
Yep. Mein Glücksbringer.
Okay.
Okay, so over to Sontheimer, he's gonna fold. Now Orpin of pocket aces on the dealer button.
There are some Germans who watch the stream.
So hard to get.
Every German word we say. They think like, what? Retards.
No.
No.
No, I just got a message from a German that is watching the stream and says like, who is that one retard that you are sick of listening to?
I'm not sure if they're talking about Kane or on Naranoko.
I'm not sure. But I'm definitely not sick of listening to Kane or Nanonoko because I can't see the stream right now. Or listen.
Actually, yeah, you can't see the stream, but yesterday they allowed the headphones, so I didn't see the stream, but I hear the stream to get the whole cards.
Nice. Yeah, I don't need that.
No. That's why you jump in right into the cash game, right? Because you don't need all that. Yeah, exactly. So then he could easily go and jump into the cash
You're
game, right?
bleeding.
Huh?
Sure, I could jump in the cash game. I was trolling you. You don't get it.
No, you
You
won't.
just stop it.
I'm scared.
Seems like they're talking about commentary and things like that.
That would be nice.
That's what
It's like one of the best spots probably, if you want to do it.
Yeah, and if you're busting on a bubble, you're kind of steamed, so it's a good moment to get it back, you know.
It's a good gamble situation. Yeah. Whew. And then you lose the first bullet.
Oh. Then you tighten up, huh?
I mean, and then you don't have for a second one.
You can play. No, they won't allow. If you can rebuy short, maybe.
I think you can play scoop low. There is some events, you know.
Scoop low. I don't have my laptop. What?
No.
Action's
no.
going to be on
Maybe you got kings now.
Dadziakowski. Blinds are 12,000, 24,000 with a 4,000 ante right now.
It's quite interesting when they open in the ace because like things get spicy, you know. The other two hands getting stronger.
Yeah. So usually when that happens, like, everything is a mess. I love it most when someone is on sit out or just like misclick yesterday, like to make. I mean, this is a new part of the game tree. That no one is.
So then you should play short deck, right? Because same, right?
Not really, but
I mean, it's a different game. It's Hold'em.
Yeah, I play everyone who never played a hand of it before. Right now, sure. I think I don't play people that play it for a couple of years already every day.
I believe they're discussing short deck.
This game is a couple years old.
I think so.
yeah, kind of.
Did you ever play a hand?
We played like 3 orbits at the pool with Koray and Stefan for who
Pays the drinks.
pays. No, not even who pays them. Who has to get them.
Get them.
Yeah.
And then you still flip for the payment.
Oh, there was like something else. Not sure. There were different rules.
All right, so Sontheimer's under the gun with ace-king. He's going to raise it to 55,000. Dietrich fast with pocket eights. Probably going to call.
4.1.
Something like that, yeah.
We got deep stacks. Not really looking to re-raise to just kind of put yourself in a tough spot. So he is going to make the call. Now Orpin. What has he got? He's got ace-jack offsuit. He's been 3-betting these types of hands like ace-10, ace-jack. I think he's very tempted to, but I think every time he's done it, it hasn't really worked out too well, so he's opting to call this time. Dadziakowski with 7-6 offsuit in the big blind, likely to come along. It's just, what, like 30,000 to win 230 in the pot. He's getting insane odds. So he does make the call. And Sontheimer flops top 2 pair. Unfortunately for Orpin, he's flopped ace-jack, top pair with a weaker kicker. I like to see Sontheimer bet this flop. He's facing 4 opponents. A lot of times someone does have an ace here, or 2 clubs. And all 4 players actually have pretty deep stacks. So he's going to size a little bit bigger than if he's playing against one opponent. 90,000, about a third of the pot. 0 chance Orpin does anything but call. Still has a player in the big blind to act. As a defense player, calling is going to be the best choice. Don't want to overplay your hand. So Sontheimer is loving this. One of the best in the game. Played a lot of cash games with him. I always thought he was very good. Just don't know when he's bluffing or when he's got it. So the turn is a 9. Backdoor flush draw. He can represent a lot of backdoor flush draws like Queen Jack of Diamonds, Queen 10 of Diamonds, Jack 10 of Diamonds. I decide to continuation bet this flop. So I can easily see Orpin call another bet here and just kind of play the river. Gonna go a little bit larger here. Seems like 325,000, 75% of the pot. Orpin in a really tough spot. Ace-jack. He doesn't even beat ace-queen. If he makes this call, he puts his opponent on 2 clubs or 2 diamonds. Usually. I don't think he expects Sontheimer to bet like ace-10, ace-5, ace-6 in this manner for this sizing. So in a tough spot, it is a shot clock tournament, so he needs to make his decision quickly because he used some of that time bank in a previous hand, so he makes the call. It's a lot of Orpin stack. I think Sontheimer's going to shove most rivers, even if one of the flush draws get there, because he can represent the other one as a miss. The river's a 3. That's a terrible card for Orpin. Sontheimer, if he was making a bluff, would shove here. He wouldn't bet anything else but all in. The only reason he would check is if he thinks his opponent has like a combo draw like Queen Jack of Diamonds, Queen Jack of Clubs, or similar, and is trying to induce a bet. But I think he thinks Orpin has Ace Queen a lot or Ace Jack.
All in.
He's all in. Sontheimer shoving for 661,000. He's got Orpin covered. Orpin would need to hero call here. Very tough spot. I expect Orpin to use a time bank at least. I think he has 2 remaining. If to make this call, he needs to put his opponent on a flush draw. And I think Sontheimer is capable of bluffing with 2 diamonds or 2 clubs. He's raised from under the gun. He's representing a strong hand. He can represent Ace-King very easily, but he actually has Ace-King. But I think Sontheimer would consider this as a bluff as well. Orpin's trying to decide how many combination of bluffs he's up against. How often is he actually up against a real hand? I would say that if Sontheimer has it, it's usually Ace-King or pocket 4s, kings and aces. Not really any other hand, I think. Occasionally Ace-9. So Orpin here already used 1 time bank chip. It's so sick because you called a flop and you called a turn for so many chips. Now you're facing your tournament life on this decision as we approach the bubble. Approaching the bubble actually makes it seem more likely Sontheimer would make a bluff here. This is a single raised pot. 4-way to the flop. Makes the call, and he's going to see the bad news. Shows him top 2 pair, and Orpin is out of here. Face jack. Eliminated.
661.
661.
Small. 661.
Yeah, he's got you covered.
So Orpin's going to be out of here.
Yeah.
I think he busted, what, in like 13th place roughly? I think we'll see a little graphic soon. Played really well. Top 9 actually cashed.
Managed 3 barrels.
So he is going to be eliminated.
Small, big, whatever was left.
She put 2 mama.
So easy, so you're only playing queens, aces, ace king.
Learn from you. Tight is right. It's bubble. Tight is right.
He's always flaming about these tight guys.
12 players remaining, so he got
changed
13th
his
place.
style.
Top 9 will cash. So 3 players will not make the money. 75% of these players will. The min cash is 250,000 US dollars, also known as 1.9 million Hong Kong dollars. Champion will receive about 19 million Hong Kong dollars, and which is equivalent to 2.5 million USD. Sondheimer is actually the chip leader of the tournament. 2.376 million.
What you're really worried about is free barreling as a tell box.
Did you take my answer?
Yes.
That was the real expensive one you played.
Huh?
So that was the real expensive hand you played.
So Orpin busted about, I think he lost about 40-something big blinds in that hand. Just went with his read and it was wrong. Happens.
I tripled on, what was the board?
Ace jack 10.
No,
or
it was
ace jack something 10.
Ace jack 8. 10
Ace
on the
jack 8,
turn.
10.
Break river. Oh, you raise. Okay.
Alright, so Dwyer opens the button with 6-4 of hearts.
But now I've learned my lesson, you know, no more bluffing.
So Sondheimer is going to call in the big blind with Queen Jack offsuit. I'm going to take a flop.
Check.
Jack 6-5 flush draw. So Sondheimer flops top pair for a solid kicker. Well, Dwyer with mid pair. I can easily see him check or bet this flop.
Check.
So he does check it back. Looking to pick off bets on the turn. Love to see Sondheimer bet this turn. This is a board where a lot of people have considered continuation betting. So the fact that he didn't continuation bet leads me to believe that he hit a piece of this that is reasonable. So I would just go for turn and river value. And it's going to bet 150,000. It's a pot-sized bet. But O'Dwyer has picked up a straight draw with his pair. There's 0 chance he folds. Calling's going to be the best play given the stack sizes is very deep. So O'Dwyer makes the call. Here we're going to play the river. Needs to hit a deuce, 3, 4. Okay, that was not it. So Sondheimer with trip jacks and queen kicker needs to decide what hand will check back this flop, call the turn, and call river bet. 6-4 makes a lot of sense. Ace 6, king 6, 6 7, ace 5. You know, pocket 7s, pocket 8s that decide to not bet the flop. I think Sondheimer can represent a lot of missed club draws. He probably doesn't put O'Dwyer on a jack, given he checked back the flop. O'Dwyer knows this, so he's actually going to go for a pot-sized bet, roughly. 378,000. He knows he's a very aggressive player from O'Dwyer's point of view. This just shows how good Sontheimer is. Being able to try and extract maximum value out of an opponent who he knows has a weak marginal hand. We'll see if O'Dwyer will make the call. He understands that his hand looks like mid-pair a lot. And he makes the call, and he's going to be wrong. Shows him trip jacks.
Got more to stack. You've got more to stack.
So tough. But you know, I'm not the kind of person that is complaining about.
So he's up
Maybe
430%
bagman, you know.
in chips in the last 1 hour. Stefan Sontheimer. I've played a lot with this guy. He's so good. And he's #1 chip leader right now.
Yeah, no, I'm an easy man, you know?
Friendly guy too.
What's an easy man?
It's like doing stuff on his own. Like not asking for too much.
Small wine.
Go to the supermarket myself. I order the food myself. You know?
Then the chef is cooking your food
Yes,
himself.
himself. Yeah, I do it myself.
Pocket aces for Torbergson. It's been a bit quiet lately. Don't forget to follow this channel so you don't miss out on the €1 million cash game later.
Still stacking my
I
chips,
said
not even
3
hiding.
barrel, not 2 barrel.
I'll adjust the 3 barrels.
I needed that extra street of information.
Ah, damn it.
Dietrich fast in the big blind, ace-5 of clubs.
Just hope that the stream guide that I hopefully got the pot size right at the river in this casual chip stacking way. This
I
is,
think so. It
I
seemed
hope so,
pretty
yeah.
close to correct.
So Dietrich fast calls of ace-5. Actually has 33% chance to win this pot. He's looking for a deuce or a 7. An ace would be a bad card for him. Torbergson likely to bet. He's only got 500,000 chips, about 20 big blinds. So he's going to be very comfortable getting in his stack on this flop if it allows him to. So we should see him bet about 60,000,
I'm gonna change the table.
give or take 10.
So I'll get some chances again.
Yeah, no, I told you, TV table is where things go well.
I'm not sure what size. Okay, 55,000 from Torbergson, called by fast. Turn is a king. Backdoor flush draw comes out. So actually might make fast continue some more because there's some... You know, Torbergson could have a hand like Queen Jack of Spades, 10 Jack of Spades. So I think fast would continue to another bet. Ace high would be good sometimes. And if it's not good, you can still hit a deuce or a 7 and occasionally an ace. In this spot, Torbergson's got a very nice hand. He's going to bet about 105,000. It's not too big of a bet. So fast is most likely just going to call here. No reason to shove. I feel like if you shove, you look like you have a draw usually, and he does have a draw. The only shove I can really see him having on the turn would be like king 6, king 4, king 3. But he's actually going to lay down to ace 5. So nice fold by him. A little bit surprised given that I do think Torbergson could have some spades. But possibly he didn't think Torbergson would have spades too often because he bet quite small on the turn. Usually people like to bet a little bit bigger when they got their draws on overcards. On to the next hand. So we will play up to level 17. Currently on level 15. Or if we get to the final table of 9 players. Wai Leong Chan, King Queen of Clubs, going to make a
You
raise.
just get the information, but on the third street, the turn call is a kind of a rough one, isn't it?
Hmm?
You said in Monaco you needed the third street for the live read information, and your turn call is a rough one, isn't it? Just the middle pair in the gut shot, that bomb.
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned.
Okay, so it was like information was partly there.
Yeah. I wasn't ready to concede.
165.
Bodziakowski, 3 bets of Ace King, 165,000. He only has 1 million chips now. He got to this final table, not this final table, this feature table of 1.9 million chips. 12 players remaining. 9 will cash. So it's folded back to Wai Leong Chan, King Queen of Clubs. I don't think he's going to fold this. He feels like players are kind of picking on him a little bit. He's got a pretty good hand, so he does make the call. He's in bad shape right now from under the gun. Flop comes Jack 9 Deuce Rainbow. Good spot for Chan. He now picks up an inside straight draw with a 10. Bodziakowski, not really a great flop for him. His opponent could have easily have a hand like pocket jacks, pocket nines, pocket tens. Could have like ace queen though, and king queen. King queen won't fold this flop, especially with backdoor flush draw potential. So Bodziakowski will be in a tricky spot here on whether to bet or check, both spots being viable. He's going to take the check line. Turn is a 4. Backdoor flush draw available, but no player has it. Chan here, I think Chan should bet a decent amount. I feel like when Bodziakowski 3-bets you and he checks back to his flop, if he's got a premium hand, it's like ace king, he's probably going to check back this flop. Aces and kings and queens would most certainly bet the flop usually, so he decides to check though. Just kind of trying to hit his hand. Bodziakowski probably going to check again because he feels like he can't get a better hand to fold. River's a 3. I think it's going to go check, check. If I was Chan and I wanted to take a stab at this pot, I would have took it on the turn where he got maximum pressure. And now Bodziakowski can make a call, closing the action.
Okay, but
No, he's going to reach for chips.
I need a
Interesting.
break, so.
I don't know if this is going to work. 160,000, 130,000. Is it that small? It is. This is going to get side called from Bodziakowski. It does kind of look like Chan has like pocket 6s, 7s, or like 10-9, Jack 10. The bet sizing is quite good in terms of representing a thin value bet. The bad part about the bet sizing is that it gives Bodziakowski good odds. So you got to look at both sides of the sword here. Tricky, tricky spot. So it looks like Bodziakowski has used a time bank chip here. It's 130,000. It's a pretty small bet. The 3-bet size was to 165,000, so this is even smaller than 3-bet. It's about 5.1 big blinds. The shot clock is in favor of Wai Leong Chan right now, though, because people tend to make the wrong decision during shot clock tournaments a little bit more often.
I've seen them.
just don't have any brands.
It's there's no clue.
No idea what kind of
Got to
hand I
make
could
this card.
Tense moment. Makes the call. Well played. Like I said, I just think the price was too good for Bodziakowski to fold ace king high.
Just go for the spread or the bowl, but now I'm not playing, so I didn't get picked.
So very well played.
Suckers, fuck them.